Hello and welcome to this afternoon lesson here on the AM Language YouTube channel with me, Richie. I hope you're all doing well. Today, play around with adverbs. We are going to look at adverbs and we are going to see how we can use adverbs properly. Roberto says, good afternoon, Richie. Good afternoon, Roberto. Thank you for joining the lesson today. So there's going to Noelia. Thank you very much for joining. Good afternoon, or welcome to the lesson, as always. So in today's lesson, we're going to look at adverbs. Now there is going to be something for most levels, whether you were a low level, like a pre-intermediate, or at a higher level, like an upper intermediate. There will be something for you. As always, we will start off easy and we'll gradually climb the ladder of difficulty. So that's the way we're going to do it. Live chat, by the way, that's where the action happens. So make sure you always look at the live chat, whether you are watching live or whether you are watching later. It's important you look at the live chat because that is where all the content is to be found. So make sure you follow the lesson there. As always, if you are new, subscribe and like the video as well. Just a reminder, this week yesterday we uploaded a new short video on the present perfect part 2. And so far, the lessons that these short videos that are coming out are excellent for lower levels. Now, the difficulty of those short videos are going to increase over time. But we're starting off with the present simple tenses, and then we're going to move on from there. And at the end of it, we will have a nice library of short videos that can explain things quickly and simply. And that's the aim. Leondina, good afternoon. Buono pomeriggio. Welcome to today's lesson. Arena F, hello, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. So I'm very pleased to see how the interaction is going. Hopefully more people watch the videos and more people subscribe. It's a chance for us really to try and show people what we do and the type of teaching and the type of important lesson content that students learn. Of course, it's not a proper lesson. It's not meant to be, but it's meant to be informative, to show you what we're looking at, to show you what you can learn. And sometimes after a lesson, sometimes people still are struggling, depending on their level. Well, we've got lots of videos, and we will have more videos to show you how to do something if you have any questions. Now, we only have 4 short videos at the moment, but we have over 200 live lessons, which we've actually been doing this for nearly a year now. It's coming up to a year since we started the daily live lessons. So there are more than 200 lessons now on different types of language points. And hopefully over time now we'll build up a good library of short videos. Sandra says, hi, good afternoon, guten Tag, welcome to today's lesson. Thank you for joining. I hope you're well. Let's just see this. What's happening? Oh, I see. Yes, there's a mistake in the thumbnail. Apologies. I will change that after the actual lesson. Thank you for letting me know. Yes, there is a mistake in the thumbnail. Okay, so I will deal with that afterwards. Anyway, let's get into today's lesson. So, um, adverbs. Let's have a little look. We're going to start off simply and we'll work our way up. So, the first thing we need to know, what are we looking to do with an adverb? I suppose that's a good starting point. So I'm going to give you guys an option, and you guys can tell me what you think an adverb does. So let's start off with this. What is an adverb? Okay. I'm going to give you two options. So the first option, a word. Okay, so far we've got A and B. Okay, so what do you think between these two options? Because the actual definition is much longer than that. So which one is closest to the adverb? Leondina says A. If you agree with Leondina, let me know. Just say yes, you agree. A. Good. Yeah, A is the answer. It adds extra meaning to whatever we're talking about. Um, that's a good way to understand it in its simplest context. The next thing we need to think about is the position of adverbs. Where do we put the adverb? So let's look at this. So here, let's have a little look. Which sentences are correct? Let's go with this. So A. D. E. And F. Okay, so let's start off over here. Oh, let's actually, there's a few more. Let's go with G. H. Okay, so which ones are correct? Let me know. You've got A, B, all the way to I. So you've got A, always I go shopping. B, I always go shopping. C, I go shopping always. D, I always have been good at sport. E, I have always been good at sport. F, I have been good at I've been good at sport later. Wait a minute. Say again. I have been good at sport always. G, you always can go round later. H, you can always go round later. And I, you can go round later always. So Noella says B, D, and H. Leonina says B, E, H. Roberto says B, E, and H. And Arena F says B, E, H. Okay, so let's look at the answers. We seem to agree on most ones. The first one is B. Yes, B is correct. Oh, I need to remember this. B. Sometimes if on here, if you go B and then the bracket, it comes up with a guy with sunglasses, which is not what I want. Okay, so yeah, B. I always go shopping. Pronoun plus adverb plus verb. So that's the first one that we need to know. And that's just your present simple. That will also be the same in the past simple. It doesn't change. Present simple, past simple. The structure is going to be the same. The next one that we are saying. So Noella has said D, the others have said E. In this case, it should be E. Okay, I have always been good at sport. I mean, the meaning isn't lost if you were to put the adverb elsewhere, like I always have been, because some people do say it, it's true. But if we want to be as accurate as possible, E is the correct answer. The reason being is that you go with have or has plus adverb plus past participle. So I want to again say, will you see some people or will you hear some people put the adverb before have or has? The answer is yes. It's not uncommon to hear it. However, what is the correct grammatical form and the one I want to encourage you guys to go for? It's putting the adverb after have or has and before the past participle. That is the most accurate way to do it, which is why it is the correct answer. Now, all of you agree that the last one is H, and yes, H. You can always go round later. Very important when you use modal verbs. It's the modal verb plus adverb plus verb. Okay. So last one. Now we didn't look at two. So let's go with this. See what you guys come up with. Can you guys tell me what the answer is for these two ones? Okay. Where do we put the adverb in these two sentences? Okay, one. Okay, so a present continuous form, and two. And three. So here we've got a present continuous, a future simple, a future simple, and a future continuous. If we're going to use an adverb, again, I'm going to say you can pick your adverb. If you like, you can go with the adverb of frequency, like always. It's just a really good one to go with, because it will make sense. You, as a teacher, you end up choosing your favorite words that you're going to go with, or sentences, in terms of examples, because it's usually, you know, that they're good examples. So in this case, feel free to go with always. It is an adverb of frequency, but when it comes to where we put the adverb, that's not going to change regardless of the adverb. So let's see what you guys say. 1, she is always cooking. 2, he will always want to play. And 3, they will always be waiting for you to make a mistake. Okay, right. If you agree with Roberto, let me know. And then I'll let you know what the answer is. So we've got she is always cooking. So here Roberto's put it in between the verb to be and the verb with the ing. In the second one, he's put it between the modal verb will and want. That does make sense considering what we looked at before. And the last one, probably the harder one, the hardest one, the future continuous, he's put it between the modal verb and be. We'll see if he's correct. Leondina says number 1 is okay, so same answer effectively as Roberto. Number 2, I think that looks like the same answer. Okay, I think you're all agreeing with each other. So 1, she is always cooking. Yes, this is correct. It's the modal verb, so it's the verb to be plus adverb plus verb and the ing. So well done there. That is the correct answer. For number 2, he will always want to play. Correct. There's no change in the structure from before because you got the modal verb. So it's modal verb again, plus the adverb, plus the verb. No change there from before. And 3, again, a very similar story, even though it's a present continuous, sorry, even though it's a future continuous, it's still the same principle. They will always be waiting for you to make a mistake. Again, same principle. Modal verb plus adverb plus be. Okay, so excellent. Well done, guys. I'm really pleased that you got all of those correct. Now, there we looked at adverbs of frequency, but this doesn't change. It doesn't matter if you're using an adverb of frequency or another type of adverb. This is where the adverbs go. Now, the other thing I'm going to go with here is this. Which combinations can we go with? Okay, so let me give you an example. A. Adverb plus verb, such as um, excellent singing, for example. B. Adverb plus noun. Oh, wait a minute. No, I didn't do that the first one, correct, didn't I? No, I didn't use an adverb. Whoops. Apologies. Let me start again. I didn't put an adverb. So let's go again. Okay, B, adverb plus noun. What do you guys think about this? Does this work? C, adverb plus adjective. Okay, so which ones can we use? A, B, or C? What do you guys think? A, B, C. Can we use A? Can we use B? Can we use C? Can we use A and B? Maybe A and C, or just B and C? What do you guys think? Can we use all of them? A and C, A and C. Okay, the answer here is, of course, A and C. We can use adverb plus verb, which we have done many times already. And the other way we can use it is adverb plus plus adjective. Now, I'm going to just look at one last thing before we start looking at some other things. And it's still at a reasonably low level, but a really important question, okay? And this is to do with, do we use adverb well or good? Because well can be an adjective and well can also be an adverb, but in this case, okay? So you guys need to tell me which one is, which sentences between well and good are correct in the next activity, okay? So just to confirm before, with the last one, we're saying that we can use adverb plus verb, which is good, and we can also use adverb plus adjective, okay? But now what about the next ones? Which are correct? One. Something that I know a lot of people sometimes get confused with, and it's between well and good. I speak English good, I speak English well, for number one. Which one is correct? And number two, I speak good English, I speak well English. Which ones are correct? So Sandra says for number one, it should be well. Let me know if you agree with her. And then let me know about number two. Noella says one is well and two is good. Sandra says two is good. Excellent. Okay, good. It's always important just to check that. Okay. So answer. One is well and two is good. Excellent. So now we have to try and think of, when do we use an adverb? Okay, because we don't always need to use an adverb. That's the reality. But sometimes we want to. So what I would like you guys to think about here is, well, let's have a little look at one or two things. The combination. So we're going to start off with the combination of this. Okay, good, or let's say positive adverb plus actually. Let's write this. Positive adverb plus positive adjective. Okay. Or now, let's start off with this simple scenario. What I'd like you to do is, I'm going to say, let's say we're going to say, okay, let's take a positive adverb. We'll start off actually with a positive adjective. Can you guys think of a positive adjective for me that you can turn into a positive adverb? Don't forget, if you want to do so, ly is the most normal suffix to create an adverb. So can you guys think of a positive adjective for me? And just write your adjective in the live chat. Think of a positive adjective, put it in the live chat, and let's see if you can turn it into an adverb for me. So we'll start off with that. For example, you could go with wonderful, wonderfully, for example. So that would be an example of taking a positive adjective and turning it into a positive adverb. And we're then going to try and play around with this language. Okay. For example, because we can then go, because then we can create a sentence like, it was wonderfully enjoyable. Here we've got a positive, positive. So that's what we're going for. But you guys are going to create your own sentences here. So happy, happily, excellent, very good. Roberto, well, if you've come in with happy and happily, can you try and create a sentence for me with happily plus a positive adjective? Noelle has gone for incredible and turned it into incredibly. Excellent, very good. Noella, can you now try and create a sentence for me where you have incredibly plus a positive adjective? Can you come up with something? Sandra, beautiful, beautifully, excellent, great example. Same thing, Sandra. Can you come up with beautifully plus a positive adjective? I'll tell you what, if you can't think of an adjective, no, we'll then move on to verbs because you can do it with verbs as well. But can you try and do that? Can you take beautifully and add it to a positive adjective? Okay, so Noelle has gone from incredibly smart, excellent, excellent, remarkable, remarkably. Yes, Leondina, that works. So can you think of a sentence, remarkably plus a positive adjective? Roberto said, I was happily surprised. Yes, yesterday morning when I went out and I saw the sun, because it's past. You've started in the past, so that has to be saw the sun. But happily surprised, excellent. That works really well. Okay, that works. Actually, funnily enough, you could say that works beautifully. And that is another structure, actually. We can go verb, adverb at the end over there. Okay, so yeah, that works well. That works well. I should add that in, actually. Verb plus adverb. It does work. Like, for instance, that works beautifully, for example. That works well. I didn't mention that before, but that is another combination we can go with, verb, adverb at the end, like that works beautifully or that works well. That, of course, works. Okay. So we've got one for happily. We've got sentence. Let's see if you guys could come out with some more, and then we can slowly increase the level of complexity. He is remarkably cultured. Yeah, I think that's a really good one, Leondina. Excellent. Really good. He's wonderfully cultured. No, sorry, remarkably cultured. Yep, that works. I can think of a few that go well with incredibly. I'll give you guys just 30 more seconds and then we'll move on to the next combination that we're going to try and work on. Which is the start. Well, no, we'll work. There's a couple more combinations I want to look at. Okay, so in case you're wondering, you could have come out with he was incredibly helpful. That would have worked. Let's say beautifully. Perfectly organized. Yes, organized. I suppose you've got a point there, Sandra. In fact, because you originally went with beautiful, so you could have also said beautifully organized. That's also a possibility. So now let's go with the next one. Negative adverb plus negative adjective. Okay. So let's say I'm going to go with the word. Let's say I'm going to pick the adjective. Okay. Frightful. Okay. The adverb of that would be frightfully. So then I could make a sentence such as it was frightfully dull. Okay, which is another way of saying really boring. So your turn now, guys. Can you try and do this? Think of a negative adjective, like frightful. Turn it into an adverb, frightfully, and then go. Did I write that? Yes. Then try and create a sentence with negative adverb plus negative adjective, such as it was frightfully dull. Leondina has gone awful, awfully. Excellent. Okay, let's see what sentence you come out with awfully something. What sentence can you guys? What sentence can you come out with? Horrible, horribly. Excellent. Really good one. Let's see what you guys come up with. I was terribly shocked last night. Yeah, that works. Shocked last night. The only thing is how we interpret shocked. Usually that, yeah. Yeah, no, that's going to work. Okay, any other ideas? Tell you what, I'm going to throw in one over here. Let's go with this one. Can someone create a sentence with this? Can anyone try and use hopelessly in a sentence? This movie was horribly boring. Yes, Sandra, that works. Roughly, yeah, that could work. It was awfully creepy. Yes, excellent. Really good one, Leonardina. Let's see if anyone can create a sentence with hopelessly. So you got hopeless and then hopelessly. Let's see if you guys can come up with anything to do with hopelessly. I've got a few ones, actually, with that one. I'll give you guys 30 more seconds and then we'll move on to the interesting one when you start mixing them up. Like you go with a positive, well, you could go with like a negative and a positive. for example. So we'll give you guys just 30 more seconds, and then we'll increase this to another level. Noella says, this area is awfully rough. Yes, you could do so. I mean, you could also use roughly, although roughly would probably go quite well with a verb, to be honest, in many ways. I can think because I'm thinking in terms of sport, because sport can be a bit rough, like football or rugby. So there's a lot of opportunities to use roughly with verbs, really. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. I'm just going to give you my answer for hopelessly. If you want to come in later, okay, he loves her hopelessly. Okay, you could, well, you've got a few ways of going with this. He loves her hopelessly. Not sure really about that one. I don't think that quite works. I know what you're saying though. You could go with this, Leondina. He's hopelessly romantic. That would work quite nicely. He's hopelessly romantic, which means he's if you go with something like that, he's hopelessly romantic. It means that he's very romantic and he hurts himself. It doesn't necessarily mean he's bad at romance in terms of being romantic, but it means that if you start saying he's hopelessly romantic, it means he's probably too romantic and he's not very good at judging the situation. So he ends up hurting himself. Or he chooses the wrong person. He falls in love too quickly. You can also say a hopeless yeah, you could use quite a few things with hopelessly. Roberto says, I was hopelessly scared last weekend when I saw a horror movie. Does that quite work? I would say probably in this case, because scared is, yes, scared is a negative, but it doesn't quite work because hopelessly, it doesn't quite go. The adverb has to have a link to scared in some way. So there, I would say, Roberto, doesn't quite work in that case, but a really good effort. Sandra says the situation was hopelessly catastrophic. That does actually work. Okay, so one of the things in terms that we need to think about is, does the adverb go with the adjective? Does it complement within a context? And this requires a bit of discovery. So in my example, he's hopelessly romantic. What we're really saying is that he's very romantic and makes very romantic, but makes bad decisions and gets and allows himself to get hurt quickly, for example. So there's a lot of meaning that can go in to this sort of thing. The situation was hopelessly catastrophic. That makes sense. What we're saying there is, if we were to say that the situation was hopelessly catastrophic, we're saying the situation was really bad and there wasn't anything we could do to make it better. That's what we're really saying. So this is the power of adverbs. It adds all this extra information. I kind of feel that fortunately we're coming towards the end of the lesson, just as things start to become quite creative with language. So if you like this video and you would like me to do a video next week whereby we can explore the adverbs more, let me know, like the video, and I'll make a note of it, because this is where we're beginning to get interesting in terms of the meaning of adverbs, how we can say a lot by saying by saying little. Actually, I'm going to give you guys. Okay, I can see people liking the video. So next week we'll look at adverbs again. I'm going to write a sentence, and I would like you guys to choose which meaning. What's the meaning of the sentence over here? Um, let's go with. Okay, so the sentence is he can be viciously manipulative. Okay, so we've got two negatives over here. Okay, vicious is viciously. So vicious, in case you guys are wondering, vicious is of quite a few things. It's nasty, it's aggressive, um, it's nasty, it's aggressive, aims to hurt, for example, and manipulative. Um, is dishonest, to be dishonest in order to make someone do something or believe something. So these two words have a lot of meaning to them already. So when we say he can be viciously manipulative, what are we really saying? What's the meaning? Is it meaning A or is it meaning B? A. Or is it B? So which one is the correct definition of really what we're saying? Are we saying he can be very dishonest and threatening in order to get his way? Or are we saying he can be difficult when he wants to get his way? Which one is the best explanation for this sentence? Leodina says A, he can be very dishonest and threatening in order to get his way. Don't forget, the original sentence is he can be viciously manipulative. All of you are saying A, and A, the answer is A. Excellent, well done. And that's, like I said, guys, that's the power of using adverbs plus an adjective. Think of what we were trying to say. I can say, for instance, if we look at the words over here, he can be viciously manipulative. I've only used 5 words to say the meaning. Now, when we look at the meaning, he can be very dishonest and threatening in order to get his way. So the explanation takes 13 words, but I can summarize that in 5 words. And that is why it is so, it can be so effective to learn how to use adverbs, to know how to use adverbs properly. It does take time to learn which adverbs best complement adjectives or which adverbs best complement verbs. But once we know it really increases our level of English because we can then say a lot without having to say a lot of words. It becomes easier actually for us to express ourselves and to explain ourselves. So I will continue this next week. I will make a note and I am going to do a lesson next week on adverbs, and we can continue this theme because I think we've just got to the bit where it gets interesting in terms of meaning in language. We've looked at the position and how we are supposed to use adverbs accurately. But now we need to think about how can we really develop our language. So really good and really well done, guys. So a big thank you to everybody who participated in today's lesson. Noelia, Sandra, Leondina, Roberto, Arena F, and anyone else who participated that I haven't seen. That I haven't mentioned. So a big thank you to all of you. Like always, you guys make the lesson what it is. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 3 o'clock with another live English lesson. Tomorrow's lesson, if I recall, is what is tomorrow's lesson? I just need to remind myself. Tomorrow's lesson is reported speech, how to speak clearly. So we'll be looking at that tomorrow. Sandra says that was an absolutely nice lesson. I would say that, thank you very much, Sandra. When we go with absolutely, don't forget absolutely is an extreme. So we have to go with an extreme adjective. Nice isn't extreme enough. So you can go with absolutely fantastic. Well, absolutely terrific, for example, goes very nicely together. So don't forget, if you're going with an extreme adverb like absolutely, try and link it to an extreme adjective. It will work even better. But thank you for the compliment, Sandra. Leondina, you too. See you tomorrow. Noelia, thank you. See you tomorrow. Roberto, thank you very much. Have a great evening. You too, Irina F. Thank you very much for your participation. And Sandra, you're welcome. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, for another live English lesson. Bye for now.